Wow, that's crazy. So so you had mentioned the pandemic. What was it like? Because I'd heard stories and I still have friends in the Marine Corps, but how was that handled? I saw the masks, I saw that, but I mean, were you guys still serving the entire time? Was there quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like we were behind the power curve the whole time, and then really work kind of went for us as, I don't want to say as normal. All we really did was we broke everybody up into more shifts, and that way we could maintain like the social distancing and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't maintain social distancing and you were like within 6 feet of somebody, you had to wear a mask, and it had to be like one of the authorized masks, not like a surgical one. And then, you have like all the travel restrictions. So we had Marines that like had foreign travel already paid for. Like I'm going on a trip to New Zealand, and we're like, no, you're not.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then just regular leave and stuff like that. And then it was like, then it turned into, oh my gosh, my grandma's dying. She has COVID. And we're like, you can't go.
Really?
Yeah. So it was pretty intense. And, this week in California, things just are supposed to get a lot more relaxed. I think they're going into phase 3, but don't quote me on that. But I know they're going to open up gyms and stuff like that. So it felt like we were behind the civilian sector, which is not usually the case.
Okay. Are you prepared for, if you think about this pandemic, and maybe I see it differently from a civilian perspective, but are you prepared for the mental health that's kind of tied to this? Because there has been, you just given an example where a Marine may have lost a family member, and even the best circumstances, I lost family members when I was in, and life goes on in the Corps, right? Death is a part of your day to day. And so even at that time when life was good, you couldn't have time to grieve. Now you have situations like that. So do you feel that you're prepared for kind of the mental health aspect of this?
I always feel prepared. And the reason I do is because when your service members and civilians that you serve with, when they genuinely know that you care about them, I think it changes things, because you do feel like, wow, this is hard, but like I'm still part of a family kind of thing. And you ask Marines that know me, ask Marines that have served with me. I mean, I've always had that ability to care about people that I really don't know. And, to take it a little bit further, to go like one more layer, it's like, how do you know when someone cares about you? And I put this on my story yesterday, I think. I always get a variation of the same answer. How do you know if someone cares about you versus versus that they don't care about you? It's a variation of this answer right here, which is, do my leaders ask me about myself outside of the Marine Corps? Do they show an interest in who I am, what I like, what makes me tick, where am I from, how's my family and stuff like that? So, I'm trying to get better at that, but like I said, the Marines that know me, that's a big piece of what I bring to the table.
Okay, that's good to know. And so I have one last question. I won't keep you for very long, but I did want to bring it up, and I think having you Sergeant Major on here would be a good time to mention this. So I joined in '09 when the recession hit, and I was 19 at the time and completely safeguarded from, I didn't even know if a fucking recession was going on, to be honest. In fact, I got out in 13, went to college, and learned about the 2009, 2010 recession. Do you feel like now, with everything going on, first off, have you seen an uptick in numbers, or do you even like get visibility where you're at right now of how many Marines are coming in?
You mean like total Marine Corps total strength?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's going down because that's kind of like the forced design right now. We could get more, but we're just not.
So they're downsizing right now?
Yeah, we're supposed to cut, geez, I think upwards of like 2,000 over the next year.
Okay. Wow. So if you
Yeah.
can get in, you're one of the best of the best. I mean, they're going to be picky. So pat on the back if you get in, right?
Yeah,
So
that's which is another reason why I started my social media, because it's like, to be a sergeant major, you're less than 1/2 of 1%.
yeah, it's a lonely world on the top. Like you don't have
It's
very
very lonely.
many
It's
not
very
many
lonely,
people there.
especially I'm the only sergeant major doing it. So it's like, I shouldn't say that. There's others out there, but they're not, I don't know. They're very guarded.
Which I get. I imagine at that level you have to be extremely guarded. So I think that's awesome to know. And I guess the point that I was trying to make, so if you could get in, and again, pat on the back if you can get in right now when they're downsizing, because they will get picky, but that was kind of a blessing that, during that time where we are in a recession and it's only going to get worse from here. And I remember one of my sergeants telling me being in the Marine Corps, it's like sucking on the tit. And once you get off the tit, you realize how hard life is. And that's the honest to God truth. You are safeguarded in many ways. So I think that's just good to mention for Marines that are considering, or police or whatever they are these days, about the Marine Corps, because yeah, we certainly still love them.
Yeah, I mean, I do my best to tell them, like, it's a good life, man. And before you just shove off, and that's why I put that video on my it's on my IG, on my Instagram, of like, do you want to get out or do you want to stay in,
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of Marines will come to me, and I'll ask them, and their answers are strictly what they don't like about the Marine Corps, what they don't like about this guy or this girl or this unit. And it's like, that's great, man, but like, is there something pulling you out? There should be something pulling you out. If something's not pulling you out, then your mind ain't right. Your mind is not in the right place right now.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't even ask them. I just call them out. I'm like, I'm just going to tell you flat out, you ain't got a plan. You think you might, but I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't have one. So you can walk out of here and be like, Sergeant Major don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Hit me up in 5 years, man.
Yeah, yes, there are some successes though.
I do I tell all of them. I say, hey, man, I'm not saying you're not going to be successful. Quite the contrary. You will be successful. To me, it's a matter of how bumpy do you want your road to be?
Yep.
Because you ain't got to make it as hard as some people make it.
No, I agree with that. I think for me getting out, so I had my son my third year and I got pregnant, and I never wanted to be, especially as a female. I deployed for a year and there was a lot of females that didn't go because they had children, and we can say what we want, but somebody has to take your spot if you can't. And I felt like if I couldn't give my life, to the Marine Corps, and somebody had to backfill because I couldn't, I wanted it to be for my son, not for the Marine Corps anymore. So that's when I knew this is it. Like you're done.
Yeah, for sure.
It. So yeah. Well, that's all I have. Thank you so much. I think this will be phenomenal to post up. So I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for reaching out. And anytime, any other questions, let me know. I'm very flexible.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye.